There's a lot of car dealers right now that are getting hit in the face, and unfortunately I think there's a lot of them that aren't going to make it. And I can see this happening in real time right now. See, just yesterday I bought 19 cars at auction in just one day, and for me to be able to do that, that's telling me that a lot of dealers right now are in a lot of pain. And even right now, when a lot of these car dealers are getting exactly what they deserve, it doesn't necessarily mean that right now is the time for you to buy a car. So right now is actually one of the most dangerous times to be a used car dealer, and I'm walking in front of my car lot right here. I'm a used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under. So it's very comical that I'm making a video like this saying, okay, well, the demise of a lot of used car dealers, and hey, I happen to be one. But here's the thing. We just went through a seasonality period of time here in the car market where it's very predictable, where we get a lot of money that comes into the system in the form of tax refunds, and a lot of car dealers are able to sell through a lot of product. And I know what you're saying, Brandon. Well, you're saying this is a very dangerous time for a car dealer. Well, the reason being is because a lot of car dealers are very, very greedy, and we've learned that. Even you, just as a retail observer, or if you've been watching any of the videos that correspond with the car market, you know the greed that is in the system right now and how car dealers took advantage of it over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And well, because of this greed and a lot of these car dealers wanting a lot of money, when this seasonality, this big uptick that happens in the car market every single year, that's very predictable. Well, what ends up happening is a lot of these car dealers bite off a lot more than they can chew. And what a lot of you might not know is that most car dealers don't actually own their inventory. It's owned by the banks. They borrow money. They do the equivalent of swiping a credit card for their inventory. So this is why it becomes very dangerous right now for a car dealer, because as they go through this time where they're selling, just like what we did during tax time, we almost emptied our lot. And then they go and buy at the auction and pay high prices because all these other dealers are doing the exact same thing when they get overexposed, and they're putting it on a credit card basically. And then what happens? Well, we're entering this danger zone, which is what we're experiencing right now. We're in the middle of the week, and that's my parking area down there. I have no customers here in the middle of the week, and we just bought a lot of cars that we put up on our lot. And it gets slow during summer. It gets slow, and we got a lot of other things that are actually hitting markets, no matter just the car market, just the economy in general, that are making the demand go down and down and down because people just have less dollars to spend right now. So we add that into, okay, dealers greedy, overexposed, have credit associated to all these cars. When they sit, they have to pay more and more interest to actually keep their inventory going. And then you cut off the sales just like that. What we're experiencing right now, they can get absolutely destroyed. And this is what's going to happen too, unfortunately. A lot of these car dealers who've gone through the segment of greed and now slow time, overexposed, is a big time problem. And it makes sense why most car dealers are on floor plans. You can look behind me right now. In inventory right now, I have a little over 80 cars in inventory. Think about the amount of cash that it takes to actually have that many cars. That's a lot of money, even for me. And I'm a small used car dealer. A lot of you say I got this little dirt lot or whatever that I sell cars on. We only have 80-something cars. And I'm not on a floor plan, so I know exactly how much cash it takes for us to keep our inventory. And that's one reason why I can sell cars that are $5,000 and under, is because I don't have a lot of extra expenses, because I don't borrow money to actually buy my inventory. But a lot of other car dealers, they wouldn't even start to try to be a car dealer if they had to come up with the amount of cash that it would take to run their inventory. And that's why most of them, I would guess it's probably over 80%, and that might even be a low number, of car dealers that actually borrow money to supply their inventory. To me, it seems like lunacy. I don't want to borrow money anyway. I don't like it. But for them to be on this time clock, that the second that they buy a car, they have to sell it. And this is why, in a lot of cases, that the car market is so predatory, because all of these car dealers, they have to sell cars and they have to sell them quickly. And if they don't, it's going to cost them more and more money. If I have a car sit out here for a month while I don't like it, it's not costing me anything extra to have it sitting here. It's not eating anything. There's no extra interest that I have to pay. But for every other car dealer out there that is on a floor plan, that does take out this credit line to be able to buy their inventory, every single day that car sits on their lot further and further and further. They're paying many dollars extra, much more expenses that are going into the running cost of their business just because they're not selling very quickly. And I'm seeing this happen at auctions in real time right now. Yesterday we were able to buy 19 cars in just one single day. We went to 2 different auctions. I went to one in the morning. Alex, my mechanic, who also buys a lot of cars from me, he went to one in the afternoon. I bought 13 at one auction and he bought 6. And just for those 13 that I bought in yesterday morning, I paid right at $30,000. So you can break that down. It's roughly what, $2,300 a car. And that's really been unheard of for us here at my car dealership. For me to get that many cars in one auction, and then 2, be able to only pay like $2,300 on average for all of those cars. We got belt squealing. We got things going on. We're actually working here at the shop. All right, I think we're good now. So all of this is telling me that a lot of dealers are becoming much weaker here in the car market for me to be able to go in there and do that. Because here's the thing, I could go in there and I could buy 13 cars on any given week, but I would be paying up for them. And then on the flip side, I could go in and I could buy a bunch of cars that are $2,300 because there are a lot of those cheaper cars at auction, but the quality of them would be absolute garbage. And I'm not trying to buy that kind of stuff. For me to exist as a car dealer like I am that sells cars that are $5,000 and under, when I go and buy cars at auction, I can't put a lot of money into them after the fact. So we have to check out the cars very well. So for me to be able to buy that amount of cars that are quality enough for me to be able to sell on my car dealership, not put a lot of money into them, and then on top of that, be able to only pay $2,300 on average and get 13 cars in one single day at one auction, and then Alex goes and buys another 6, that's a very good day for us. But it's probably an indicator of a very bad thing that's going on here in the car market for a lot of these car dealers that are just like me. And even though a lot of these car dealers are going to continuously get more desperate as their floor plans add up, as they have to move a lot of these vehicles quicker, it's still not the right time to buy a car because we're still coming off of spring selling season. We're still close to that. So you still have dealers that have inventory that they paid way too much. So even if they slash their prices, even if they dropped them by 10, 20%, well, when they went and bought them at auction a month, 2 months ago, when prices were really elevated, some of these cars were 30 and 40% over. And yes, that 40% number sounds insane, but it's absolutely true, especially for this cheaper stuff like what I buy. There were Toyota Camrys, just give an example, like a 2002 Toyota Camry, it's got 175,000 miles. In the midst of tax time, that thing's going to go for $3,500, maybe even $4,000 at the right auction. And right now, I can buy that same car for like $2,500. That's how much prices drop just in a short amount of time. It's crazy how much money flows into the system and how much money gets sucked out of the system right after tax time. So these prices, they've already dropped. They've dropped a lot at the auction, but a lot of these dealers are going to still try to hold on to try to salvage some of this money that they've already invested into products that they haven't been able to sell very quickly. So now, when can you actually buy a car? Well, there's really 2 times of year that I would advise anyone to even start looking for a used car. And that's when, as far as seasonality goes, it's the slowest time of year for a used car dealer. And I know I've been doing this for almost 15 years now. So I know exactly when it's the most painful for me, and it's right at the end of summer. That's when kids are getting ready to go back to school, parents aren't trying to spend any money, people just went on vacation, they don't have any money to spend at that point. So the car market is very slow during that time period. And then at the very end of the year, so you think end of December or after the holidays, people spend money, they don't have any money left to buy cars. That's when it's the most painful for us as used car dealers. So if you are going to buy a used car, those are the 2 time periods that I like to advise people to target. Now, we have another little bump like in the beginning of fall. Like right after the end of summer, we'll go back to where we have it's like a mini spring selling season. It's in the fall, so that's a stupid thing to say, but we have another pop that happens in the fall. That's the better way to describe it. So prices will go up again, like September, October, but then they'll fall off a cliff after that. But if you're looking to buy, those are the 2 times that I would recommend, just because I know that it's the most painful for me, and that's when we slash our prices the most to try to move inventory the most, because we've held onto it for so long. So I know what you're saying, Brandon. Well, you're telling us not to buy, but you seem like you're buying like crazy right now. You bought 19 in one day. What's going on here? Well, see, the wholesale market and the retail market is completely two different things. You're going to have different price changes that happen in different segments. Yes, the wholesale market will lead the retail market. Retail market will follow, but it often takes a month and a half, sometimes even 2 months for retail customers to start seeing drops that dealers are seeing. But the other thing of it is I'm able to actually take advantage of the market when dealers are very, very weak. And I want you to be able to take advantage of the market when dealers are weak now too, but we're starting to see that trend, and we're starting to see that dealers are getting hurt now, and you have to wait till they get absolutely desperate on the other side of that. So me, I can go in and take advantage. I don't have a floor plan. I have cash that's sitting on the side from us killing it at tax time, and now I'm able to go take advantage of a lot of these dealers that are trying to dump stuff, or they're either trying to not buy right now. So we're seeing a lot fewer dealers show up at auction, and it allows us to buy stuff that's a lot cheaper. So no, I'm not trying to tell you not to buy when I'm buying. I'm not being hypocritical here. It's a thing where the retail side of things is 100% different than what I'm seeing as a wholesaler when I'm going to these auctions. Basically, yes, I sell to the retail public, and you're going to see prices change here at my car dealership faster than you're going to see at any other car dealership, because we base our prices off what we buy our cars for and not necessarily what the car is worth in the current market. So I'm not a good gauge of what other car dealers are doing, but I can allow you to see what at least what I'm seeing that other car dealers are doing just by watching these videos here and seeing what prices I'm getting on the cars that I'm buying. And one other big problem that I can tell you that I know is hitting a lot of the consumer base of even like my clientele and a lot of these other small used car dealers, it's freaking gas prices. Like, I mean, we know what's going on in the world right now. Gas prices are high. Maybe they'll go down a little bit, but a lot of this is not going to have any kind of resolution anytime soon, and we're going to continue to have elevated gas prices at least for the foreseeable future. And when that happens, well, even if consumers don't have all of that less money from money that they're spending on gas, there's at least some perception out there that they are poorer because they have to spend more on even just filling up their tank, and they see that number every single day. And if they're paying $4.50 for gas, at least like around here is kind of what it is. I think it's like $4.20 a gallon around here. I know you from California, New York, you're like, I wish we could only pay for $4.20 for gas. But going to that from $3 a gallon, not that long ago, something that you could actually see, it creates this level of, I'm going to create a word here, poordom, that an extra poor people syndrome that's going to go around right now around this time, where people are just going to at least feel like they have less money. And in a lot of reality, a lot of these consumers are going to have a lot less money. And what that means is they're going to spend less of their dollars. Demand for bigger products, just like cars, going to go down. This is another layer of problem that's happening in the car market right now that's going to persist for, in my opinion, probably quite a long time. And one thing I can say that at least my car dealership gets a big benefit out of, with a lot of the weakness that's in the market, a lot of weakness coming from the dealers, it's like 2 or 3-fold. You know, I mean, you see it up here. I sell cheap cars, right? I sell cars. I know you want me to say affordable, but we sell cheap cars. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm the honest used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under. They're cheap cars. So that's what we sell. So the benefit that we get right now in this market is that obviously cars are getting cheaper at auction. So I'm able to buy a higher quantity of cars, or at least even reach farther than what I have been. I can show you a couple examples of it. Like, here's a newer Kia we wouldn't have been able to touch just a few months ago. I mean, we got a 2015 Hyundai right here. I've got a Honda Civic that is a 2012. I got a 2012 Honda Civic that I'm going to be able to sell for under $5,000. Like, we haven't been able to do that, and that's a big benefit to us, that we're able to expand the range of what we can actually buy, because I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. Every once in a while, we'll have a car that's $5,500 if we buy it wrong, or we got to put some kind of big fix into a car. So you might have seen 1 or 2 of those out there right now. Actually, I don't see one. Maybe you haven't seen it. But every once in a while, we'll have something like that. But I am the car dealer that sells cars for $5,000 and under. Prices get cheaper, I can buy more cars because they just fall into my range. It's simple math. But the other thing is that I inherit extra customers. Like, there's customers when demand goes down, when people have fewer dollars to spend, that middle tier buyer that is going to buy a $5,000 to $10,000 car, well, there's a bigger pool of those consumers that want to buy those cars than there are for consumers that want to buy $5,000 and under. So I end up having those customers actually trade down, so we can gain some consumers during time periods like this when things are slower. So that's the extra benefit that I get. Better quality cars for a cheaper price, and I can inherit some more customers. Things kind of looking up for us, at least on paper. We'll see if the whole market goes to crap and no one has any money to spend. Might be very hard for us, but on paper at least, I stand to benefit from a lot of the things that are going on in the market. No, I don't want people to suffer. No, I don't want dealers to go out of business. No, I don't want consumers to have less dollars to spend. Just trying to look at the silver lining here and how it affects my business and what we're preparing for. And if you subscribe and watch more of our videos, you'll be able to see how we're actually doing in this environment. And as the months progress, I'm going to keep you updated on it. And because I know there's going to be a comment there, I know that some of our cars don't have prices on them right now. We're putting cars out for sale right. They're literally taking pictures of them right now. We don't when we go take pictures for the cars that we're posting. I mean, we got more coming in right there. We don't have the stickers on them. Like this one says $5,000. We just think it's nicer to the pictures look better if they don't have this price point. And also we lower our prices every 2 weeks. So if we go out and we price this car for $4,500 and it's in the pictures and the price online shows $4,000, then that's going to look weird, right? Where you have a car that's priced for $4,000, but on the picture it shows that it's $4,500 cash. But just so you know, because I know there's a comment, I know there's quite a few cars out here that don't have prices on them yet. The only reason is because we're literally pricing them today. We're taking pictures of them today, and that's why. It's always the simplest thing that I feel like gets the most comments, so I have to address something like that.